small but mighty Queen City Balladeers. Welcome, everybody. Jon Letts.
I'm going to play some songs off my album that I released last summer. It's called Hot Sauna. Now, before you correct me on how I said that, I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan originally. I moved to Detroit about 7 years ago. So a lot of Finnish ancestry, you know, people came over from Finland and moved over there. And so a lot of, most people say sauna, but what we say sauna. You know, it's a very therapeutic thing to have in the wintertime. So here's one off my album called Hot Sauna. It's called Empty Voices. Oh, what can we do for the empty voices and those with no power and those with no say? We can scream and yell about those who have fell, but that won't give choices to the empty voices. Well, we post on the internet and we sign our petitions and we lay out conditions politicians never see, and we write our congressmen about all atrocity, but that won't do nothing for Lady Liberty. Oh, what can we do for the empty voices, those with no power and those with no say? We can scream and yell about those who have fell, but that won't give choices to the empty voices. All that we can do is pray into the void and hope the man in charge decide to have a heart, and maybe someday the powers that be will put down their guns and take responsibility. Oh, what can we do for the empty voices and those with no power and those with no say? We can scream and yell about those who have fell, but that won't give choices to the empty voices. I've written about current events over the last year or so. So next one I'm going to do, I work in an ice arena. I drive a Zamboni in Detroit.
All right.
On the east side, yeah. So, and it's cool, you know. Driving the Zamboni is cool, but then I got to do a lot of cleaning too. And hockey players are gross. And they, you know, adults and kids. So they make messes and they don't clean them up. So this one's called "If You Make a Mess, Clean It Up."
All right.
All right. thing too. If you make a mess, clean it up. This house ain't got no maid, and you don't make enough for the help to get paid. Well, every job I get, I take the place of everyone's mom, cleaning up after grown men and their children too. Kicking and spitting and sneezing is what they like to do. Leaving their mark, just walking, talking big doo-doo. If you make a mess, clean it up. Your mom don't work here no more. If your dad was here, he'd tell you the same thing too. If you make a mess, clean it up. This house ain't got no maid. You don't make enough for the help to get paid. Well, this ain't a problem I believe I will ever be able to fix. As long as what comes out looks like a big old Twix. And as long as they can run away and ignore their guilty hearts, they'll be leaving their marks and their tracks all around these parts. If you make a mess, clean it up. Your mom don't work here no more. If your dad was here, he'd tell you the same thing too. If you make a mess, clean it up. This house ain't got no maid, and you don't make enough for the help to get paid. Clean it up. Your mom don't work here no more. If your dad was here, he'd tell you the same thing too. If you make a mess, clean it up. This house ain't got no maid. You don't make enough for the help to get paid. And you don't make enough for the help to get paid. One more time now. And you don't make enough for the help to get paid. Thank you. A lot of my songs are about failed relationships because I had some of those. I'm not that old, but I've been around the block once. It was. Let's see. This one's about being with somebody that you can't afford. Well, you got big ideas, and I got little dreams too. But your ideas take a bigger piece of the pie. I can cook a steak in my van, well, you go get a tan. For someone who has money to burn you up. You got 24 karat mind, but my budget is rhinestones. I live in an upper flat with a low income. Someday I might be rich, but even then, you're still gonna bitch. 'Cause the tolerance for the high life only grows. You want a Rubicon, but I'm just a guy named John. I'm not Warren Buffett or the heir to a fancy estate. I can drive off-road in an old Camry. I don't need a fancy SUV. But you just want to drive around the city, Photogram can see you look pretty. You got 24 karat mind, but my budget is rhinestones. I live in an upper flat with a low income. Someday I might be rich, but even then you're still gonna bitch. 'Cause the tolerance for the high life only grows. You got 24 karat mind, but my budget is rhinestones. I live in an upper flat with a low income. Someday I might be rich, but even then you're still gonna bitch. 'Cause tolerance for the high life only grows. 'Cause tolerance for the high life only grows.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, this one's about codependency. Well, I know you ain't right for me, and you know I ain't right for you, but I think we got something good going here. There's nothing that we got to lose. Well, deep in my heart, I know it ain't true, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Bang my head up against the wall and sing codependent blues. It's gonna hurt real bad, I'll be crying sad. I might go back to drinking booze. It'll be said and done real damn soon, I'll be singing codependent blues. Well, I know that you got problems too, and I think they're just right for me. I'll be blowing red flags like Dale Jr., hoping true love's what it'll be. I got mommy issues, you got daddy ones, and boy, won't it be fun? We'll be fighting and crying, you know I ain't lying, I'll be singing codependent blues. It's gonna hurt real bad, I'll be crying and sad. I might go back to drinking booze. It'll be said and done real damn soon, I'll be singing codependent blues. Real bad, I'll be crying sad. I might go back to drinking booze. It'll be said and done real damn soon, I'll be singing codependent blues. It'll be said and done real damn soon, I'll be singing codependent blues. Switching over to the baritone guitar here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could go use that
You
one.
have tender guitar on me now?
We got too many strings. Yes.
That's like a collector's item, folks.
So I got a story about it. The song I'm gonna play with it.
It's a 6-string.
That's good. We'll just go. Alright, sounds good. So yeah, this is a cover I'm gonna do. And I mentioned I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, the Great Lakes region. I've lived in mostly Detroit, and So, in school, one of the big historical events we learned about, pretty much the only big historical event up where I'm from that we really learned about in school was the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, the ship that sank in Lake Superior, because I grew up in a town near Marquette, Michigan, on Lake Superior. So, anyways, I was up there visiting, my folks are still up there, and I wanted a guitar that had like some bass sound to it. And my dad's like, oh, they got a cool baritone guitar at the music store down, and it's just a few blocks away from Lake Superior. And I tried it, and, I don't really buy things spontaneously. I never buy an instrument, right away, but I played one chord on this, and it was like, had to have it. And, Edmund Fitzgerald was an iron ore ship, and my hometown was called Negaunee, Michigan. It was an iron mining town. And so the color, this kind of copper burst, it kind of looks like iron ore. That's like the color of it. So it felt like it was meant to be. So that's where I found this guitar. So anyways, yeah, here is the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. Legend lives on from the Chippewa down to the big lake they call Gitche. Lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the skies in November turn gloomy. A load of iron ore, 26,000 tons, more than the Edmund Fitzgerald weighed empty. Good ship and true was a bone to be chewed when the gales of November came early. The ship was the pride of the American side, coming back from some mill in Wisconsin. As big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a crew and good captain well seasoned, including some terms with a couple of steel firms when they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Later that night when the ship's bells rang, could it be the north wind they've been feeling? The wind in the wires made a tattletale sound as the waves broke over the railing. The captain knew and the whole crew knew too, 'twas a witch in November come stealing. Dawn came late and the breakfast had to wait when the gales of November came slashing. And afternoon came, it was freezing rain in the face of a hurricane west wind. Supper time came, the old cook came on deck. He said, fellas, it's too rough to feed ya. At 7 p.m. the main hatchway gave in. He said, fellas, it's been good to know ya. The captain wired in, he had water coming in, and the crew and good ship was in peril. Later that night when his lights went out of sight, came became the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Does anyone know where the love of God goes when the waves turn the minutes to hours? The searchers all say they'd have made Whitefish Bay if they put 15 more miles behind her. They might have split off, or they might have capsized, or they may have broke deep into water. And all that remains is the faces and the names of the wives and the sons and the daughters. Lake Huron rolls and Superior sings in the rooms of her ice water mansions. Michigan steams like a young man's dreams. Its islands and bays are for sportsmen. And farther below Lake Ontario takes in what Lake Erie can send her. Iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales in November, remember. At a musty old hall in Detroit, they prayed at the Maritime Sailors Cathedral. The church bell chimed till it rang 29 times for each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald. The legend lives on from the Chippewa down to the big lake they call Gitchigumi. Superior said never gives up her dead when the gales in November come early. Gordon Letts.
Got a couple more for you here.
Another one about my hometown. It's about the transition of old mining town and the mine closing, and then it kind of turns into like more of a suburban vibe. I run through the woods of my hometown. A whole lot more trees have been chopped down. The men. Try this again. I run through the woods of my hometown. A whole lot more trees have been chopped down. My friend, he rolled through with his wife. Said it reminded him of his suburban life. And this old town ain't what it used to be, where iron made steel and we felt free. And make sure it wasn't a tourist trap filled up with all this generic crap. A street made of iron made up the downtown before Old Ed's bar was owned by a clown. The men, they started drinking at 7 a.m. before their next shift it started over again. This old town is what it used to be, where iron made steel and we felt free. Where nature it wasn't a tourist trap filled up with all this generic crap. In this old town ain't what it used to be, where iron made steel, we felt free. Nature, it wasn't a tourist trap filled up with all this generic crap.
Yeah.
So, next one is the title track off my album called Hot Sauna. You say that to your friends, and they tell them you're crazy. You can tell them that's the authentic way to say it. So anyways, my family, we have a cabin near Lake Superior. We call it, up there we call it camps. I don't know what you call it here, what your cabin in the woods is, but we call it a camp. So we have a camp with a sauna. It's about 3 miles from the shore of Lake Superior down an old dirt road. And it's north of Marquette, Michigan, between Marquette and this little town called Big Bay, where Henry Ford used to hang out in Big Bay. It was like a very exclusive club up there, but that doesn't have anything to do with the song, but it's kind of interesting. Anyways. This one's Hot Sauna. Well, they say you can't reverse time, but I know a way to make it stop. It starts with a fire or electric switch, it doesn't matter, just don't let it stop. Well, I prefer a Temple 175, stoke it up with a lot of steam. Bring a few friends and a couple of pops, and we'll all be living the dream. Nothing like a sauna on a Friday night, out of camp on a fall weekend. With no cell service, I won't be nervous about anyone knowing my sin. Come on through if you know the way where you turn off the road to Big Bay. Everyone is welcome when it's up to me, and the sauna is where I'll be. Well, if you're gonna drink in the sauna, drink lots of water too. There's a spring down there and the water's fine, it's clear. It tastes good too. When you come to camp, you're bound to have a real good time. Late at night we'll play cribbage by the light of the kerosene lamp. Nothing like a sauna on a Friday night, out of camp on a fall weekend. With no cell service, I won't be nervous about anyone knowing my sin. Come on through if you know the way where you turn off the road to Big Bay. Everyone is welcome when it's up to me, and the sauna is where I'll be. Nothing like a sauna on a Friday night, out of camp on a fall weekend. With no cell service, I won't be nervous about anyone knowing my sin. Come on through if know the way where you turn off the road to Big Bay. Everyone is welcome when it's up to me, and the sauna is where I'll be. Well, everyone is welcome when it's up to me, and the sauna is where I'll be. I don't know what time I got here.
Lots.
About 10 minutes.
Alright, cool. Face back out here. Oh, we got no one, never mind.
Do you have any CDs that you brought with you?
Unfortunately, that's a failure of mine to not have physical CDs yet.
All right.
But the album, it is on all streaming platforms.
Okay.
Spotify and all that. I'm working on, getting the physical copies out. But
Yeah, we're old school here.
yeah, and I appreciate that. I usually am too. But
We're not only old school, we're old. So combination of those things.
well, I appreciate this is wonderful. Like I said, this is a great listening environment and a really cool thing you got going on here. So I really appreciate y'all having me. And 100% worth the drive down. Absolutely.
Thank you for doing that, Joe.
No problem. Yeah. So this one is about being in a relationship and it's kind of gonna end, but you keep trying to make it work. Not to get down. When we first met, I knew you were the one. Life was magic, silly and fun. It lasted a while, about a year. That's when I started living in fear. The honeymoon's over, and now we are stuck. Neither of us gives a single care. I express my needs to a hostile response. I'm stuck in the weeds trying to do what she wants. I'm walking on eggshells with you in my life. I can't believe that I made you my wife. I have my doubts, we can turn this around. At least not before we're both dead in the ground. Couples therapy worked for a bit, at least for the shrink who made money to sit and listen while my wife talked. That's when I should have just got up and walked. I'm walking on eggshells with you in my life. I can't all. I should be out there just having a ball. Sometimes I miss the days when you'd bitch about all the things that you'd like me to switch. I'm walking on eggshells with you in my life. I can't believe that I made you my wife. I have my doubts, we can turn this around. At least not before we're both dead in the ground. At least not before we're both dead in the ground. All right, I got one more for you.
That was a love song, right?
I got one more love song here for you. All right. This one's called Lost and Found. I wrote this one at the ice arena too. I saw kids leave their water bottles there all the time and their hockey gear, and we have a sign that says Lost and Found. I said, well, there's a song name. Well, I'm as happy as a clam. There's nothing that can bother me. 'Cause I got someone who makes me feel so damn free. Well, I think that she's the one. She's everything under the sun. Who cares if this relationship is on day one? Well, I fall in love in this way with anyone kind enough to give the time of day. Well, maybe this is it, the one that sticks around, the one that picks me up at the lost and found. Chasing this euphoria, I'm doing my best not to bore you. I'm white knuckle driving this love to the promised land. Well, I felt this way before. They'll walk out my swinging door to find someone who can surely offer more. And I fall in love in this way with anyone kind enough to give the time of day. Well, maybe this is it, the one that sticks around, the one that picks me up at the lost and found, the one that picks me up at the lost and found. Whoa! Thank you so much, Leo Coffeehouse. It's been wonderful.
Jon Letts.
Music, demo, strong. All music great. Thank you again so much.
All right, before you get off stage, I can't stress enough the importance of Michigan pronunciations tonight, because I one time made the mistake of calling them pasties.
Oh, no,
Yeah, right. You don't want to call them pasties, they're pasties.
Pasties.
Pasties,
And they
right.
better have rutabagas, too.
For those of you who don't know, a pasty is a handheld sandwich pie kind of a thing, kind of turnover with meat and potatoes in them.
Yep.
And it's very nourishing, sustaining on a cold winter night when you're ice fishing or playing hockey on the lake or something like that. Am I right so far?
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
call them pasties or you'll get laughed out of the bar, man. Let me tell you. So, Jon Letts, everybody. Thanks, Jon.